Welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Today we are talking with Anjali and Urvina, who are co-founders of You Can Coaching, where they align women to careers they want. Welcome, both of you. It's so nice to have you on the show, and I'm really excited to learn about what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you got started. So, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Jill. It's a pleasure to be
super excited this side of the pond as well.
So you're in the UK?
Yes.
Okay. Wanted to double check on that. You asked me where I was from, but it didn't occur to me that you were somewhere else.
Yes, we are.
So how did you get started with You Can Coaching? What led you to that point?
Well, it started quite a few years ago when a few things triggered it. One, my role was becoming redundant. Where I worked in the NHS, the National Health Service here, as a therapeutic radiographer, and I'd done that for 27 years. And I absolutely loved what I did. And it was they were going to dismantle that role completely. But there didn't seem to be another role that I felt I could do at that level and that point in time. And so that, and the other thing that triggered it was one of my children has got learning difficulties, and she was at that point post 16, and I started thinking about her career path, and I thought, well, actually, maybe negatively a little bit, or maybe in reality, what if she didn't have somewhere she could work? Could I employ her? Could I have something, a legacy that I could leave for her? And so there are two things that really triggered the whole thing. And then, so I partnered with Anjali, and that's another story in itself, but that's how we then started. So at the point of when I turned 50 was the day that we launched our You Can Coaching.
I love that. I love how when you it's really like 45, women just start like something turns on in them. Like, I know I was meant for more than this. I got all this stuff behind me that I'm supposed to do, but now life is really just starting for us. Absolutely. So how about you, Anjali? How did you get started, and how did you two meet?
Yeah, the second question's quite interesting. For the first bit, how did I get started? So I've been in a corporate role as a finance professional for about 17 years, and I've navigated the hierarchies, the politics, the kind of the work-life balance, etc. And there were so many strategies and like training juniors, supporting their development, and post-COVID, when we were coming out of all our lockdowns and etc., it kind of hit me, and I reevaluated, what am I doing? What do I want my next phase of my career to look like? And it was around the same time that Urvina was going through her kind of career phase, and it just made sense. I mean, she quit a year before I did, but it kind of got us to set things up, to start looking into setting up formally as a business. And it gave me a sense of, can I transition into something different? Can I move from being a finance professional to doing personal development stuff? And that it just naturally led onto that journey. And also because I'm a sports coach as a hobby, it kind of lent itself, the coaching just lent itself. And so I wanted to bring the sports philosophies into kind of the career aspect. And Urvina was all about the legacy. So we kind of matched a little bit what we wanted to do. And so it was easier to get together and just form You Can Coaching. You tell that story.
So about 13 years ago, I set up a disability group in our community. And Anjali joined me a year later. And that's how we started working together. And she became my right-hand woman, if you like. And so we really understood how to work with each other, what our strengths and weaknesses each were, and what we could each bring to the table. And I think because we'd had that experience for 13 years already, it felt very natural when we worked in business together, it worked. So that's how we met.
That's interesting. So was it the disability around your daughter, or was it something disconnected?
Yeah, completely, because I had gone to something in the community and they were setting up workshops and stuff. And I thought, well, she was young at the time. And I thought, how does she integrate into my community? Who does she have friends with in the community? How does she know people in it? How will she get included? And that's why I started it. That was my driver. A lot of things that happened in my life is because of the drive behind her. And that's what led to that, and which is still running today. And we have now eight of us women running that group, and it's fantastic, and lots of kids in it.
That's really fantastic. So when it comes to actually coaching women, what do you actually help them with?
I think the biggest thing we help them with is to get clarity. We're talking about women who are kind of mid-career in their professional lives, and so they've had a lot of experience in whatever they're doing, so they know a lot of what they don't want, but they might still have overwhelm or not really have the clarity on, okay, what is that next phase? What do I want to be doing? And our coaching process is designed to give that clarity, so that it doesn't have to be defined. It's not totally structured or black and white. But what it does is it gives them a direction, a path that, this feels right. This is my next move, or this is what I need to explore further.
So it's not really all about just stopping your career and doing something different.
No. There are some people, clients who come to us who want that, but predominantly they want to still continue in a career. They are working women, and they may want to change it slightly, but not change careers completely, or they're looking to do something that's more meaningful to them. But there's always that overwhelm or the lack of confidence, because they may have been in one career for a while. And so they just need, and a lot of these women actually they're really ambitious. And they do know they want something more. They just don't know what and how to get there. Yeah. So that's what we help them with.
So do you help people everywhere or just in the UK?
Yeah, we help people everywhere, time permitting, because it's all online. So obviously, if it's local, we could do it face to face, but predominantly it's online and anywhere.
Yeah, and mainly it's because we're not looking at specific jobs or careers. What we're looking at is more about themselves, what's driving them, what's inside them. So it is possible for us to work with anyone globally. Because we're not, looking at individual markets where you need a bit of specialist knowledge, maybe.
Interesting. So when you work with these women, is it just one-on-one? Is it group? How does that look?
So currently it is one-to-one. That's how we kind of have designed our program, and we prefer to run it that way. Mainly because it's it's an exploration even for our clients. And so we want to make sure that we're there for them through that whole journey and supporting them. So we do a lot of supportive work with them just to make sure that they're not double overwhelmed. They're coming to us overwhelmed. We want to take that away from them. So we dedicate a lot of our time to the clients at the moment.
Okay. So when you're working with them, I know you said you have a workshop that you do for people. Is that how they would kind of find out what it's like to work with you? You give them some tools and tips. How does that look?
Yeah, so we call it like a master class, and usually for an hour. So it does give them an insight, one, into how we are together, how we work, but also it gives them a sense of an insight into what the program looks like. So we share some of the things we run in the program, and we might even do some exercises within that so that it gives them an idea of what they might expect, and also share some stories, because then it helps them to see what the results that they might get as well. So yeah, it's an hour long, very interactive. So hopefully people really, well, they do, not hopefully, they do enjoy the master classes. So, and we always like to give a little bit of value as well, because a lot of people have given up their time in the evening mostly, or a weekend. So it's important they get something out of it, even though, and they are free.
Yeah, so they run once every 2 months or once every quarter, but they are like value packed. They're jam packed, so it's quite a tight schedule. But the aim is to give them as much information as possible in that time, so it can help them in their career journey.
So, what kind of information would they walk away with, and what kind of people would want to go to your workshop? What kind of problems would they have that they would want solved?
I think the biggest problem that we've seen with a lot of the clients that we get are they're stuck in their career. They're stuck in that they're so comfortable where they are. They want something more. They know that they're meant for a bit more, but they're quite stuck and they don't know how to move on to that next level. What is stopping them? What do they need to do? And so the masterclass is designed to kind of break that down a little bit. So we go through the steps they need. The steps that would take them through that journey to know where they want to be. And then we also go into a lot more detail into a couple of those steps that starts giving them almost a shift, like a new way of looking at things, trying to figure it out and seeing where they got stuck effectively. And for some that's enough. For some that's enough to just get them over the line and go, actually, I know what I need to do now. And for others it's, I still don't know how to do it, and we can then help them further after that.
Okay. That sounds really helpful. My mind is going, oh yeah, I can just, I know these people that are like that. They have careers and they're just like, they feel like they're stuck. They're not ready for retirement. They know there's more going on, but and maybe their careers, the path that they're on is shifting because everything is shifting so quickly these days. And they're just like, I don't know where to go. So
yeah, and we find also a lot of women around 45 onwards, 45 onwards are starting to, and we talked about this a little bit of midlife, where the shift in their thinking, what's the next 20, 30 years going to look like of my career? You still have that much to devote to your career, so you might as well make it as meaningful as possible. And also children are growing up, if they have children, so they're not as needed as much there. So now it's time they have time a little bit to focus on their career. So a lot of things have shifted around that time. So it kind of has brought them to that point of, okay, I think I need to do something about my career now.
Yeah. I've seen that so many times. It's just like, now what do we do? And it really is 30 to 40 years. I mean, people
Yeah.
are younger longer now
Correct.
than I
That's
think
it.
they ever have
Yeah.
been, especially women, where,
Yeah.
the Golden Girls were in their 40s when they were on TV, and they were supposed to be like over the hill. 40 is like, girl, you just finally grew up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is true. That is so true now.
Yeah. A lot of things
So,
change.
Yeah.
so how do you go about finding your clients or getting their message out? I know you're doing this podcast with me, but
Yeah.
are you on a lot of podcasts? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Facebook? Are you in groups? How do people
Yeah.
find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our own social media. Mostly it's via social media. So
Mhm.
we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're putting out a lot of information and nuggets on top career related topics on there quite regularly. So definitely, can give you the links to follow us or even DM us. And in terms of how else we get through is apart from our social media is through podcasts, but also certain groups which are dedicated to these kinds of forums, so career related forums. We do speaking engagements, so we have certain specific topics that we talk about, especially around getting out of your comfort zone. That's quite a big one when you're stuck in your career. So we have some specific talks on just how to get out of your comfort zone. What can you do to get out of your comfort zone? And it all kind of links in. And so we run these in various groups as well, so that the more people know how to get out of their comfort zone, the easier it is for them to transition into that next phase of their career.
Do you got some tips for that?
Getting out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, to share with our audience.
Yeah.
Share our concept.
Let me put you on the spot here.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that stops us from getting out of our comfort zone is fear. And, the biggest one of the fears is fear of failure. So it's all linked around how we as human beings behave and interact. And it's all very protective. So once we understand the psychology, it becomes easier to start taking steps. And we're talking about baby steps. We're not talking about jumping from tomorrow. But the more steps we take around it, the more we're pushing our boundary of that comfort limit. And it's creating that room to start growing, which automatically gives us that confidence to then start taking bigger steps. So there isn't any sexy formula for it, unfortunately, but it is slow and steady steps. And the biggest thing to understand is what is your fear? What is stopping you? What is it? What is the worst outcome that you're fearing? And also then conversely, kind of going, instead of thinking, what if it doesn't happen, is what if it happens? What is the impact if you're able to take that step? What will it give you? And I think that's something that people don't look at, because we tend to look at, oh my God, what if I fail? And our thing is, oh my God, what if you don't fail? What if you actually succeed? Can you imagine what it will do for you? And it's just getting ourselves to think slightly differently, and you automatically start taking bigger steps as you get more comfortable, ironically, with getting out of your comfort zone.
I love that meme. What you were talking about just brought to mind. It's what if I fall? And so my darling, but what if you fly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Absolutely. You're not going to know until you do it.
And sometimes you're falling and flapping your wings, and then the wind catches you and you're off and sailing. And it's being able to fall through the fear and keep flapping, because
that's it. It's only
that.
failure if you stay fallen.
Yeah.
If you stand up, you fall again. It's not failure. It's feedback.
Yeah, it's feedback. My daughter's a black belt in karate, and one of her they memorize these sayings, and she has like, since she was 6, and she's 19 now. So one of them's fall down 50 times, get up 51, or something like that. You just got to keep standing back up, and eventually you're going to get it.
Yes, that's it. It's exactly
absolutely.
Yeah. And I think the more you do that, as Anjali was explaining, those small steps, it just, after a while, you don't even notice that fear as much, because you just do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel so fearful, so you don't procrastinate, and then you just do it, and then see what happens.
Yeah, the hardest thing about getting started is getting started.
Yes, that's it.
Just like, because you have all of these things around it, instead of just ripping the Band-Aid off and going for it. We like to think about it, and sometimes when you overthink things, you can think yourself out of doing stuff that really could have like been your life's mission.
True.
Yes, true. Absolutely. 80% of the times that's what we're doing. We're talking ourselves out of doing something that could change our lives.
And not just your life, but the lives of people around you, and ultimately everyone in the world, because we're all connected. And when you make a decision, and your daughter's a really good example, Urvina, where she has an issue, and instead of just like cuddling up or curling up in a ball and saying, woe is me, the world's awful, you went out and you formed a group, and now other people are impacted by that, and then their families impact other families, and it just kind of ripples around, and it's what makes the world a better place. To me, it's so exciting.
Yes.
It's really why I do what I do.
Amazing.
Yeah, certainly. When more than one person comes, when you can see that impact on more than one person, it's really amazing.
It's why we do what we do.
It is, and helping people figure out their career paths, or readjusting their career paths, or making steps to tailor their career path in a way that's more fulfilling to them, impacts the world in a huge way. Because as they're working and a lot of times I think you deal with people that are corporate or professionals, they get burned out, but and then they leave, and they take that knowledge base with them, and the knowledge bank that someone has after 20 years in a profession is huge. And when those people leave, the people coming up, they don't get the advantage of this wisdom that these people have to share. And you can't put it in a manual. It's something that happens person to person. And I think what you're doing is valuable for professions in general, because you're helping retain that knowledge bank long enough to help the people coming up to be able to benefit from that. And that benefits everybody.
Yeah, well, you talk about the ripple effect. There you go.
Yeah. So I know you're going to be doing workshops again. Do you want to talk about when you think those will be coming up? Do you want to talk about how people can get in touch with you to connect in terms of getting on the calendar to join your workshops?
Yeah, so our free workshops run at least once a quarter. So they'll be up on our website to what the next dates are, and we'll give you the link, Jill, to put into the show notes for that. So
Perfect.
They're online, and anyone can join them. So whatever time or whatever date is convenient, just register, book yourselves in, and then turn up for the life-changing masterclass. And in terms of getting in touch with us, if you can't wait until the masterclass, and we get that as well, then just DM us. So we are on Instagram. So our handle is at UCAN which is UKAN coaching. We're on Facebook as well with the same name, UCAN Coaching. So, feel free to DM us and we can set a quick chat up just to see whether we can help or not. And we're also on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is Urvina Shah and Anjali Gupta. So we'll give the links as well, because it could be a mouthful. So we'll give the links as well, so you can connect with us on LinkedIn, follow us on LinkedIn as well. So there's loads of different social media channels that, give you access to us. And definitely the masterclass is the best way to start that career transition journey.
Perfect. So is there one last thing that you would like the audience to take away from our conversation today?
Well, one of the things we always say is that because our name is You Can, so we always leave our people with You Can.
We believe you can. So it's all in you. It's in you, yes. And yes. All we are doing is tapping into it, because you might be overwhelmed, you might be tired, you might be exhausted, and you can't think straight. And we help you tap into it. Yeah. But we actually believe that it is possible, and you can do it. You can do whatever transitioning, whatever looks good for you, you can do it.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Jill, for having us. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the You World Order Showcase podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our incredible life, health, and transformational coaches who are making a profound impact on the world. Remember, change begins with you, and you have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. If you want to take that next step and unlock your true potential, visit thecoachesalchemist.com, where you can find the 3 ways we can help you for free to spin your talent into gold with clarity, a system, and a plan. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an inspiring episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more people with our positive message. Stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and upcoming guest announcements. You can find us on Facebook at the You World Order, or simply visit thecoachesalchemist.com.